I like looking at other people's mock drafts. I just like to see who they're looking at. And today we're going to be taking a look at Goat House's mock draft. That's right. Welcome back to Mock the Mock, where we take a look at someone else's mock draft. And I'm mocking, giving my views, thoughts, and opinions. Like I said, we're going to be taking a look at Goat House's today. Look at him looking jacked, looking swole. I wish I could rock a tank top like that. There was a day when I used to be able to, but not so much. Now I look like a pale stick. It's great. But what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up. Enjoy the content as always. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that nice, beautiful football discourse. By the way, while I'm here, if you like playing weekly fantasy or maybe making a few prop bets, maybe Daniel Jones over under half an interception, I'm going to take the over all the time. Then check out Underdog of Fantasy. Links in the description below. Be sure when you sign up, use promo code Broshmo. But let's see what he's got cooking. He goes 8 by 8 by 8 by 8. So we're going to start. And by the way, the draft order is, I think it's off Tankathon. And it's basically off the current standards. So if it looks wonky, it's like what I did yesterday with my mock draft. I took just the current stand-ins from Tankathon, just because it gave me, it's a fun draft order, so I had fun with it. But in here, Goat House goes with a Jalen Carter going to the Raiders. Makes a ton of sense. You're stuck with Derek Carr right now, so do you go with one of the top quarterback prospects? I might. I'm not going to lie. I'd consider it. But you also gave a lot of money to Chandler Jones. You got Max Crosby. You're probably going with the best non-quarterback prospect, which is like a toss-up between Willie Anderson and Jalen Carter. Houston Texans, CJ Stroud. I get it if Stroud goes ahead of Young. He's got better size. Stroud's actually got ideal size, and he's got an ideal arm for the NFL. He's been playing real well this season. And if you're the Texans and you're drafting the top 5, you better be considering quarterback. Same with the Seattle Seahawks. Geno Smith ain't the future. They go with Bryce Young. I think Bryce Young's the best passer in this class. The Atlanta Falcons, you miss out on the top 2 quarterback prospects, which, I bet you Desmond Ritter's breathing a sigh of relief, but you go Will Anderson. You want to get better pass rush. That makes a ton of sense to me. Peter Skoronski, Chargers. I have a hard time believing the Chargers are going to draft this early, but that's where they currently lie in the stand-ins. I know, 3 games through, but it is what it is. Peter Skoronski kind of solves a lot of problems, whether he's going to be playing right tackle. Right now, Matt Filer is not doing too hot at left guard. He can play there. He's got a lot of versatility. The Cardinals go Brian Brazee. And listen, I know he's been tearing it up, but if I'm a Cardinals, your cornerback room, it is how they would say hot garbage in France. So I would be going Keely Ringo. I feel like I'm the only one in the world that's high on Keely Ringo. It always feels like everyone has other cornerback prospects ahead of them, and I'm like, why? For me, it's Keely Ringo and the rest of this draft class. So I'd be going corner if I'm the Cardinals. Bijan Robinson going to the Eagles. I'm not taking Bijan this high. Sorry, not sorry. Listen, running back value, it's a thing. It's a thing. And I know Bijan can do a little bit more than just play running back for you. But if I'm the Eagles, I got a top 10 draft pick. I'm going to take a swing on one of the more valuable positions. So that's just my take. Maybe Miles Murphy. Trying to think of other guys that could be here for them. I mean, if you want to shoot, you could swing at wide receiver if you want to get another guy involved there, just for craps and giggles. You could. There's 2 corners I think that have really helped their stock in this draft class, so I'd consider them here. So yeah, the Miami Dolphins go Michael Mayer. Listen, I know Gesicki's a free agent after the season, but if I get a chance to like swing on a Broderick Jones or a Paris Johnson, I might jump at that. Currently, who do they got playing at right tackle? I just looked this up. Oh, Greg Little. Yeah, I'm going tackle all the way. Offensive line talent, more vital than the top tight end in this class. Because Michael Mayer, it's not like he's a generational guy athletically. He's just a really, really good tight end. Should go in the first, but not this early. So that's what I'm doing if I'm the Dolphins. Let's take a look at what he has down for the next slate of picks here. as he has the Carolina Panthers going Will Levis. So a lot of people still like Levis. I'm not taking Levis inside the top 20. He's an older prospect. The decision making is scarce and or scary, and we know he can process the field if he wants to. It's just something he doesn't do consistently. I get it. Carolina, they probably should go quarterback. Whoever quarterback 3 will be in this class, it's kind of a roll of the dice. You got guys like Tanner McKee, Will Levis, DJ Hughes, kind of getting back into the fold of things. I'm not going to talk about Tyler Van Dyke. I'm a Hurricanes fan. It hurts. It hurts to talk about Van Dyke. Anthony Richardson. So there's a few other guys. I get it. Some people are really high on Levis. The Titans, they go with Paris Johnson. If I'm drafting Johnson, he is going to be my left tackle of the future. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's kind of funny that they have Nicholas Petit-Frere, but hey, freaking Derrick Henry's the engine of the offense. That means you got to make sure everything built around the engine is looking good, and right now the offensive line is not looking good. Christian Gonzalez going to the Steelers here. Makes sense. Make sure just to ensure your cornerback room has, like, it's a volatile position. Make sure you got a ton of talent there. And right now the Steelers, they could use more talent at the position. Christian Gonzalez was one of the guys I brought up, kind of raising his stock. He's a very good man cover, like sticky press man cover guy. So there you go, Steelers. Broderick Jones going to the Bengals, and I don't mind this because Jonah Williams has not been playing good football. You got to protect Joe Burrow. If Jonah Williams, if he ain't doing it good, get him out of there. The Patriots, they go Jackson Smith-Njigba. I like this. I get the idea of getting an underneath target that could really create after the catch, that could work well in the slot for Mac Jones. Value-wise, I'm not in love with it, but I understand it. I get it. Trent Simpson, I kind of like the idea of Jets getting Trent Simpson because can you imagine? Like, I bet you Salah would be like, I wouldn't mind getting another Fred Warner. And not saying that Trent Simpson is Fred Warner, but he is the best linebacker in this class right now. Not by a mile, but he's got quite the lead. The Washington football team goes Cyrus Torrence. Like, I like Torrence a lot. I don't know if I like him in the top 15. It's not exactly a position of value. I feel like you could go corner, Joey Porter. Like I said, with the linebacker class, there's not another guy I'd probably want to take here. Really, who am I thinking of? Corner's probably the first thing that comes to mind. I'd maybe even think about doing quarterback. I would really consider quarterback here, especially when you have the Detroit Lions taking Michael Penix Jr. here at 16. This is their quarterback of the future. Listen, I like Penix a lot. Dude's got an NFL arm. The injury history is terrifying. He has not played more than 5 to 6 games in any given year because of season-ending injuries. I'm glad it's kind of all got put together here at Washington. Hopefully he stays healthy, but I think the injury things is just enough to scare me out of taking him in the first, maybe even day 2. And also keep in mind, he never really put it together in Indiana completely. And again, a lot of that's not his fault. He wasn't working with a lot of talent. But for me, Penix is a no-go here. But I like that he's being talked about. You want a lot of guys whose names aren't being talked about to be talked about. That's what I try to do on this channel. Give y'all a lot of names so you essentially know a lot of names when the draft here comes and you're like, I know that guy. That's good value. Or I know that guy. I hate how my team drafts. So, yeah. Detroit going quarterback, though, I think makes sense. Jared Goff, he's a middling quarterback, and you're probably not going to keep him after this season because he's a lot of money. A lot of money. All right, on to the next set of picks here. Got the Colts going Olu Fashanu. I love this. This guy could have a big rise, especially with the tackle class still kind of being like sorted out. Could have a huge rise. He's put together as a pass protector. Needs to work on how he as a run blocker doesn't really play with that nasty mentality the NFL loves as a run blocker, and he plays with more balance than leverage. But I think that'd be a really good pick for the Colts. Blake Freeland going to the Cowboys here. I don't see Blake Freeland as a first rounder. If you could go to my tackle rankings, I will get those updated in probably like a month. But I talk about Freeland and I kind of like equate him to Abraham Lucas. The thing is, Abraham, like, you saw how the NFL valued Abraham Lucas. I saw him as a top 50. He went in the 3rd round. I think we could see something similar from Freeland. And with Dallas, honestly, their offensive line ain't playing all that bad. Miles Murphy going to the Chiefs. Absolute steal. This guy's a physical freak. Finally had kind of his breakout game for this season against Wake Forest. Hopefully he continues that path. I think he's a top 10 talent. The Buccaneers go with Tyree Wilson. And this feels like Logan. Who did they get? Logan. Was it Logan? Not Logan Thomas. Who'd they draft out of Houston last year? Was it a Logan Paul? Paul Logan? Bucks 2022 draft. I don't really care about Rachaad White. Who was their 2nd rounder? Why are you telling me all these later picks? What is this? Is this like picks from day 3? Tell me who they picked on day 2. I don't get why it's so difficult. Logan, here it is. Logan Paul. I said Paul. Darn you, Paul brothers. Screwed me up again. But they just drafted Logan Hall. There at that position. I just don't see why would they do that. Why would they go here? For me, it doesn't make sense. I get it. Tyree Wilson. He's been playing really good football. I'm waiting to see him against. I want to see him against like an NFL, like a 1st round NFL caliber talent. Because last year it didn't go so well against Charles Cross. Texans here at 21. Keely Ringo, forgot he was on the board. This is just a great pick. Having him on the outside, opposite of Steenley, that is like freaking scary, dude. I love that. The Bears, they snagged Jordan Addison. I really like a lot of me saying the Bears might draft a quarterback. I think they'll be drafting in the top 5, at least the top 10. And I think Matt Eberflus just doesn't trust Justin Fields, and Justin Fields hasn't been that good this year either. So I think quarterback might be on the table for the Bears, but if not, yeah, grab your quarterback some help. The Bills, they go Chris Smith. Makes a ton of sense that they go safety. I tend to go with Antonio Johnson here. I think I even have Brian Branch ahead of Chris Smith, but Chris Smith is really good. Like, if you thought Lewis Sane was good, then Chris Smith is on that level, like really breaking out this season after kind of being an all right starter last year. Packers go with Charlie Jones out of Purdue. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't think Charlie Jones he might be a late day 3 guy just because he's got or return experience. But he's not a high end athlete. Very good route runner. Like, he's a good player, but he's more so a guy like you might want to target late day 3 or as a UDFA. You're not going to see anyone talk about this cat in the 1st round. So probably another case of just trying to showcase a player. It would be nice though if you're the Packers going with another receiver. I mean, you got Kayshon Boutte here, which kind of would be fun. I think that would be dope. Let's keep this train rolling as we get to the last set of picks. As we have Gervin Dexter going to Seattle. Makes a ton of sense that they want to get better in the middle. And they do that with Gervin Dexter, who's having an incredible season. The Ravens go with a pass rusher in Jared Verse. Jared Verse, can't wait for him to come back healthy. Don't know if it'll be this week in time for Clemson. I think Clemson has Florida State. Do they? I'm not positive. I know they face an ACC team. Thinking it. No, Clemson has NC State, right? So I think it's Wake Forest. Florida State football schedule. It is Wake Forest. Golly, I was so close. Wow, dude, Florida State's got a rough next 3 games. So from October 1st to October 15th, this is their games. Wake Forest, NC State, Clemson. Godspeed, Florida State. Your time in the top 25, you might not be long for the top 25. But hopefully they get Verse back in time for this game. He might... sounds like he wasn't a season-ending injury. It's not going to be an injury that holds him out for too long. But this dude's been amazing. Like, what a pickup out of Albany. Such a great athlete. And I'm sure the Ravens, keep in mind, they had David Ojabo, but who's not playing this year. Just grabbing more pass rush is never a bad thing. Minnesota goes Joey Porter. I think that's a good pickup. Cornerback's probably one of the positions they struggle the most at, so it makes sense here. Noah Sewell going to the Giants, grabbing in a linebacker there because they really don't have a guy at linebacker. That's all that in a bag of chips. For me, it wouldn't be Noah Sewell. I think he's kind of like, for me, he's kind of talking himself out of the first round just because there's no coverage prowess. The missed tackles have still kind of been there. And honestly, if he just cleans up on the missed tackles, I feel better about it. I get it. He's just so hyper aggressive. He wants to lay at the hit stick. It doesn't work out all the time. Detroit Lions, they go with Antonio Johnson. I get it here because Antonio Johnson and Goodhouse puts him here as such. A DB, a guy that could, I would believe, could play outside corner. We know he's really good in the slot. Now he's playing more of a traditional safety role, and he's doing a great job. So getting that kind of versatility would be so nice for Detroit, as their secondary could use a little bit of help. The Jags go Josh Downs. For me, it's like, why are you grabbing another slot guy? You got guys like Christian Kirk, slot guy, Marvin Jones. I know Marvin Jones plays on the outside as well, but like, you don't grab another slot guy if you're the Jags, and that's kind of what Josh Downs is going to be in the NFL, in my opinion. It's not like you're grabbing Jahan Dotson or somebody. Eli Ricks going to the Eagles here with the final pick because the Dolphins do Dolphin things and they just forfeit picks because they be talking to people behind the curtains. But Eli Ricks, for me, did he? I know he probably played against Vandy, but is he in the starting lineup yet for Alabama? Because I feel like if he's not going to start for Alabama this year, he can't come out. You're just not going to come out in the draft. All right, here we go. Let's take a look at the defensive starters for Alabama against Vandy. Here's Eli Ricks. Didn't look like he started. No, he only played 15 snaps, dude. Like, this guy's not coming out, man. He can't come out like that. Sorry, not sorry. Eagles going corner, though, I do think makes sense. They got James Bradbury on a 1-year deal. Darius Slay is up there in dog years, even though he's playing really good football. Both those guys are playing really good football. But, hey, man, it's a volatile position, man. Just keep grabbing very good players, good depth, and have good competition at corner, then it's going to go a long way for your squad. So, yeah, I don't mind the Eagles going with that. But a lot of interesting picks here. And there are some cases where I think he was just kind of like showcasing some guys who don't get their name out a lot. So, yeah, check out the video for yourself if you want to hear Goat House talk about it. But that's it for the video. Go ahead, do the YouTube thing. As always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.